Andrew Elenbogen, your Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica champion in 2018. 3 Grand Prix top 8s to his name.
I played him in the Team Grand Prix in Denver many years ago. I believe it was Return to Ravnica. Might have been right after he won the Pro. I don't remember any of this anymore. But what I do remember is he ran circles around me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, guy knows how to play Magic. Quite good. All right, here we go. Pack 1, pick 1, the most exciting time of any draft. Jeskai Shrinekeeper, let's go. Molten Exile also pulled to the front of the pack. A great removal spell. I have a soft spot in my heart for that 3/3 that draws a card.
Well, you know, if you were to compare these two cards, if you knew ahead of time that you were going to be Jeskai, I think the Dragon is likely to be the pick over the Exhale. But it is a much larger commitment, pick 1, pack 1.
Yes, it is. And that's always the question in these multicolor formats. Like, what do? Do you take the bomb first? Do you take the single color removal spell? And it's the bomb, baby.
That's a very aggressive pick there, I think. You know, a lot of players would have probably erred towards just taking the Exhale. It's the safest thing. But if you have a really strong preference for Jeskai or you just think this card is that good, then here we go.
Ooh, we've got some Mardu Chicken Riders here, which is another excellent card. And once again, 3 colors. Are we staying open? We're just going to take the best card in the pack. Or are we going to stick to something that is one of the 3 colors of the card we already took? All right, looks like it's going to be Mardu Siegebreaker here. And there it is. All right, so 2 very good options here for Andrew starting off pack number 1. This is a 4/4 with Death Touch and Haste. And when it enters, you can exile one of your other creatures under it. And when it attacks, it makes a copy of that. It's pretty sick.
So far what I'm learning is that Andrew has to really have a high opinion of Jeskai Shrinekeeper. Not to say the card's weak by any stretch, but to be willing to commit to that card that strongly, pack 1 over a very good, straightforward removal spell, and then not follow it up with another Jeskai or, you know, card in that color wedge.
Oh, interesting. I wonder what he's going to do here. He's got Sidisi, Tyrant of the Mire, pulled to the front, which is a 1/3 card that you want in a Sultai deck. Here you can sacrifice a creature you control with mana value X other than Sidisi and return it with a creature card with mana value X +1 from the graveyard to the battlefield at sorcery speed. I haven't seen it do anything crazy yet in this format, but
it's quite synergistic with the hybrid cards.
Sure.
That's where you're getting a lot of value.
Focus the Mind here. Nice draw spell pulled to the front, cost 5, cost 3 if you cast another spell this turn. That's going to be the pickup. Options still open here for Andrew. I will note that a lot of the top pros do like to play 4 and 5 color builds here in this set. Corroding Dragonstorm, a pretty powerful card if you can recur it. Jeskai Devotee also a consideration.
Although if you are a 4 and 5 color drafter, it's noteworthy that the common tap land is already out of this pack.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's got to be concern here if you are going down that road. Again, sort of what we talked about with Corey ending up 2 colors there in the first draft. It just is someone passing to me really putting a value. Again, the land is not in this pack. And so
yeah,
Andrew might have to sort of settle into something that's 3 colors pretty quickly, because it's one thing when you're talking about the tri-lands, but when the 2 color lands are getting snagged this early.
Right, it's kind of dangerous. I think he took the Snakeskin Veil there. He was kind of considering that versus the +1/+1 counter spell. But Snakeskin Veil has been just absolutely critical for me in so many drafts. I just want at least one.
And, you know, Andrew's just, I mean, these packs are just nothing but green and black cards.
Yeah.
The writing might be on the wall here that he's going to have to bail on the initial picks here and move into Abzan or Sultai.
Bearer of Glory, a white card, is the pickup here for Andrew. It's his first strike on your turn. He can pump your creatures for 5. Once again, a lot of green and black still left in this pack. All right, Sultai Devotee. Gurmag Rakshasa also right behind it here in this pack. a card that's got a removal spell tacked onto it. Looks like we're taking the Devotee. Wow, we are kind of swinging back and forth here, not going to lie.
Well, I think Andrew is realizing, that it just the way the packs are presenting themselves right now, that green and black, they're open. Unfortunately, that doesn't align with the first two picks, which was a Jeskai card and a Mardu card, but I think he's making the call here that I kind of have to bail. Maybe if the mana fixing comes together,
Sure.
I can splash those cards down the line, but I'm just not seeing any red, white, and blue cards. So I got to do something else.
Sagu Pummeler here, the pick up a pack ago, a great-sized creature with excellent renewability too, gives +1/+1 in reach. 100 Battle Veteran was his pickup from this last pack. Have yet to see that card in play, quite honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't really go that way very often.
Yeah, it's hard to turn it on. Another black card here as we round out pack number 1. And like you said, the writing might be on the wall. His hand might be forced where we're going to end up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of fringe playable white and black cards to round it out here. So this is also something that happens in draft with the best players. At the end, if I'm not drafting black-white in pack number 1, I'm sending you white and playable white and black cards towards the end. I'm not de-drafting those because I want to be
take these.
Hey, dummy, you're black-white. So that way you're
stay away.
You're sending me the teamer cards in pack number 2, and then pack number 3.
We good?
And then pack number 3 will be smooth. All this stuff is face down. Remember, players are not allowed to talk. They're not allowed to show each other cards. However, in pack number 1, towards the end, you can effectively say to your opponent, hey, or the person next to you, rather.
Yeah.
I think that's a big difference between novice and more experienced drafters. Novice drafters default to, well, I'm not going to play any of these cards, and this card is decent, so why would I want to leave it around? If you and the person next to you can work in harmony with one another, the two of you will end up with a better deck as a result of it. That's the reason that there's no communication allowed. Is if I was like, "Hey, Marin,
yeah,
I'll be Obzon, you be Teamer. How about it, right?
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna have the two best decks at the table, but so that's why you're kind of seeing these black and white cards that are decent littered in the last few picks of these packs. You might be saying, well, surely this could not have been the weakest card in the pack. But the point is, the person at Andrew's right trying to say, hey, listen up. The green, red, and blue cards, they're not coming.
Nope.
So if that's your plan, it's time to bail.
Nature's Rhythm got picked up by Andrew. I didn't see him pick that up earlier, so he must have been sneaky about it, or I just missed it. I looked away. It can be a powerful card as well. So that's in his deck here. So we'll see here what happens in pack number 2, see if we can keep this black-green train rolling. But like you mentioned, those dual lands, we just saw nothing.
Yes. Yeah, that's I think Andrew jumped on top of that about as early as possible.
Yeah.
Again, another thing, a novice drafter at the LGS level probably doesn't identify that at all. But Andrew's good enough to be the first thing that I'm looking for in the pack is there a dual land here or not? Because that's just free information about what's going on in front of you. The fact that they were drying up so early is suggestive of, someone is maybe two people in front of you are exploring some sort of 4 or 5 color thing.
Oral Procession here pulled to the front. Maybe he just wants to land Rugged Highlands. He's like, come on, I need at least one.
I mean, it's rough to take that here insofar as Obzon is open, or appears to be open at least, and that's a dual land that doesn't accommodate any Obzon pairing.
Auroral Procession is, in fact, the Pack 2 Pick 1 pick here. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Interesting. Oh, nice. Okay. Roiling Dragonstorm. Love that card. Probably one of my favorite of the whole set. Oh, Kodas the Fangkeeper. Okay. And Lion Weight. Some good Sultai cards here.
And Andrew has enough blue, black, and green individually that Sultai could be the path here too.
And he does have one Sultai Devotee from Pack 1.
The concern here is just what's going to happen in Pack 3. Because blue was so dry that, and Andrew's probably a little bit short on playables just by virtue of he's not going to be able to play everything he took in Pack number 1. And it seems unlikely that the mana fixing is going to come about to accommodate all of this. So, at this point, Andrew's just looking for something to kind of glue everything together. Maybe a bomb in one of the 3-color pairings that sort of defines things. Maybe some good mana fixing happens to come around in this pack.
Awaken the Honored Dead here. The Saga, the Sultai Saga is a nice pickup for him. This, you can destroy target non-land permanent, mill 3 cards, and then you may discard a card. When you do, return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. So, wow, that's incredible he got past. Nice.
It's a very strong card. It's sort of not, I wouldn't say synergistic, but has the same spirit as the Sidisi.
Yeah.
And so maybe now you have the sort of a skeleton of something, whether it's self-mill or some sort of recursive package here.
Oh, okay, Caustic Exile. Lotus Field Dancers as well in this pack. Lotus Light Dancers, excuse me. That's a 3/6 lifelinker that allows you to go into your deck and find 3 cards of the Sultai colors and put them into your yard so that you can harmonize or renew.
And this is pretty good news for Andrew because, yes, blue was pretty dry in pack number 1, but clearly Sultai is open in
it is flowing.
It's flowing in this direction, and we just saw enough good green and black cards in pack number 1 that this could be a route to get to a decent Sultai deck, even if, kind of the first picks of the draft don't end up shaking out very well.
All right, he looks like he might be interested in the globe here because we've got to fix our mana some way if we're playing 3 colors. We don't want the devil's mana. Is that what you called it?
The 6/6/6. Yeah, you don't want 18 basics spread even.
Okay. That's why you called it that. I love that.
So, and remember, Andrew still might have aspirations of taking some of his early gold cards.
Yeah, that's true.
Even if he's Sultai, it's like you don't want to give up. If you get another globe, maybe you get a stray dual land that can glue some things together. It's possible those cards get played, even if maybe the most likely outcome at this point is playing Sultai.
Oh, another Roiling Dragonstorm. Oh, I love it so much. This is definitely, maybe it's my favorite card of the set. I love it. It's simple, 1 color. You just keep bouncing it back to your hand and keep drawing cards. All right, number 2. There we go. Alchemist Assistant, the other card he had pulled to the front there. A nice little 2/1 lifelinker that can give a lifelink counter to somebody from the grave.
And Roiling Dragonstorm here is also kind of a nice hedge here for Andrew. If he's thinking maybe I'm 3 colors, maybe I'm 4 colors, but the mana fixing is not there.
Ooh.
This is kind of a way of, if my hands are going to be a little jumbled, these cards smooth it out some.
We have a Tri-Land here in Stansep Citadel, also a Jungle Hollow, notably. And remember, a Tri-Land, hey, if you've got 2 of your colors, put it in the deck.
Exactly. And yes, you might say abstractly, why not take the Jungle Hollow here if you are unlikely to play white? First of all, Andrew's got some white cards. And second, who knows how pack 3 goes.
Right.
With this and the Orb, now we're maybe crossing into the territory of a white card I could consider playing if it's strong enough, or maybe I'm 1 dual land away.
Focus the Mind, draw a spell here. Abzan Devotee, help fix your mana a little bit again. Tranquil Cove, the dual land here, which is blue-white. And that's what he's going to take. Nice. Okay, so we've got some dual lands finally. Here we go.
Now, maybe you're not anticipating getting that many in pack 3, given what happened in pack 1, but he's cobbled together some mana fixing here where I think, 4 colors, not red, is realistic. You'd like a little bit more than what he's got right now.
Yes.
But it's not dry. But pack 1 was pretty pessimistic how it was looking there. But
oh wow, Codis came all the way back around, as did Lion Wait. Now Codis is extremely good if you have ways to put counters on it or give it evasion or whatever. And Andrew's going to take it. 2/1 Indestructible lets you play your opponent's cards.
And
Nothing more fun than that.
And even if you don't end up pumping it, it's still a great blocker.
Yeah, it is. Blocks forever. 4/3 Trade Route Envoy here, the pickup. Draw cards if you've got a counter on a creature. A few cards left in the pack. We're going to take this High Spire Bell Ringer. Won't make the cut. It's a 1/4. Discounts your second spell. Wow, another Aurora Possession. He took one way. He took it first in the second pack, and here it is at second to last pick.
Yeah, took it when I thought the most likely color wedge was obs on.
Yeah.
So, a card Andrew clearly has a very high opinion of. Nice to get a second one here. He's got, he doesn't have much of the enablers to make sort of a self-mill thing happen, but he's got a lot of the payoffs. So pack 3, he might be able to pick up some stuff that works with all this.
This was a great pack for Andrew. Absolutely.
Yeah, defined the draft, picked up with some mana fixing. If he ends up soul tie, he's got a good base, and he's picked up enough, white dual lands that touch his other 3 colors, such that taking white cards or possibly playing, some of the white cards is possible. The concern here is that the first 2 cards he took were red. So even the white dual lands really don't clean that up.
Yeah.
But he's got the opportunity to take white cards here in pack number 3.
Yeah, I like that he found some power here in pack 2. We have the Lotus Light Dancers, we got the Saga in Awaken the Honored Dead, we got Kotus the Fang Keeper. So the punch that we were lacking in pack 1, we've made up for here in pack 2, in his colors, I should specify.
From my perspective, the thing to look out early here from Andrew's side is what happens if there are red dual lands in the pack? Does he still have a dream of maybe playing his first 2 picks? Or we say, I'm not bothering with that at this point. We're going to be 4 colors and just stay the course.
Yeah, you saw him there looking at his, looking longingly at his Mardu Siegebreaker like, hey, buddy, maybe we'll be able to cast you. So what are we looking for in pack number 3? More mana fixing?
I think some stuff that actually pays you off for having stuff in your graveyard or doing it, whether it's, some harmonized stuff, whatever. Like I said, Andrew's got a lot of, architecture for the graveyard stuff in terms of payoffs, but not really a lot in terms of the cards that reward you in the first place for putting it there.
All right, we're looking good, sitting pretty here, headed into pack number 3 for Andrew Elenbogen. We are playing in pod, by the way, and we were playing players who are on similar records as you in the pod. So if you win, you might play somebody who lost. It's a little different than normal that way. Oh, another Kotus. Bewildering Blizzard, Kishless Skimmer. There's a card that pays you off from playing stuff in your graveyard. Caustic Exhale. Some good options. He's like, can I just take all 3 of these, please?
Yeah, this is. The tiebreaker here is if the if that regrowth came back so late, blue-green might be open, and it's possible you can get that gold card to come all the way back to you.
Looks like that's the consideration he is making here, taking the Caustic Exhale. Just a quality removal spell. Doing work all weekend. I also named it cutest card in the set.
Okay.
Look at him.
Aww.
He looks so derpy. Ooh, what did we open here? Karu Goldkeeper. All right, that's a nice pickup. This dragon pays you off for putting it into the graveyard. You can give something a flying counter and a +1/+1 counter, and does the thing where when stuff's leaving your graveyard, you get a treasure, so that can help with mana, and also just allow you to cast more spells in your turn. And it just looks pretty.
It's nice looking. I thought Andrew might be trying to talk himself into, well, this might come back. I could take the Jungle Hollow, pull this around.
Yeah.
Don't think that's going to happen here. Great pickup. High rate card, synergizes with a lot of stuff he's got going on already.
All right, good pickup, a good start to pack number 3 here for Andrew. Ooh, Piercing Exhale. Nice removal spell. Definitely, I think in other sets it would be better than it is in this one, but it's still perfectly serviceable.
Yeah, you have to be careful about it because it is one of the timing sensitive ones. You can get blown out in response to removal, but Andrew's a sharp player.
Oh, yeah.
We just saw it yesterday. Reed's opponent on camera timed this not the best and suffered some consequences as a result.
Yeah. You get a nice surveil there if you Behold the Dragon.
Because some of these cards are templated, you may choose up to 1 creature, and so there's no way to get blown out by a removal spell.
Ooh, another Sultai Devotee and another Karu Goldkeeper. It's not a fancy version, but hey,
Yeah.
any port in a storm here.
Well, very strong synergistic card here.
Goldkeeper number 2, let's go. So this pack's turning out okay for him. Like, we were a little worried.
I thought that, pack 1 was, from my perspective, just an issue of how is Andrew going to go down the road of just trying to force these red cards into his
Look at
deck.
this. Took the Devotee.
Could use a little bit more mana fixing. And I think some hope he might be able to float.
Yeah.
Probably not this deep, but Sultai Devotee is definitely not coming back, so.
There's another one. Oh, our third Karakit Guardian. Rip. Jungle Hollow is now the time. It might be. Yeah, we're not taking that 100 battle veteran.
And a lot of times when you're talking about, do I take a dual land or do I take, a fringe playable card, again, it comes back to that mental checklist of how many playables do I have. It's
Right.
possible if Andrew's feeling like I'm not going to get to 23, you might not take the dual land there. If you feel comfortable that you've got, your deck's already kind of rounded out, you could afford that.
Look at this. We've got another Piercing Exile and an Abzan Devotee. There's another Dragonstorm Globe in this pack, too. But it looks like that's not something he's thinking about here. He wants to exile.
I think that the issue with the Orb here is that he just doesn't have enough dragons to really
Sure.
make it worth it. Again, a place where Seal deck is different. Everyone's playing all their dragons, or most of them, and so you really feel the Orb. There, in draft, you actually have to be sensitive what your dragon count is.
All right, Alchemist Apprentice could be a card that he picks up here. We also have our land fetch spell. Help fix your mana. Has Harmonize, so you can do it twice. Roamer's Routine. It's going to be the monkey. Get in the deck, little guy. Call back to Sidisi's pet, I think, if I were to guess from First Tarkir. 1/4 lifelinker. Ooh, Skirmish Rhino. We've got a Rugged Highlands, so it'd be second Rugged Highlands if he wants to pick that up here. So 2 red sources.
Okay.
Here we go. We're going to Scotland.
I really enjoyed the name of that cycle. Well, just because they all feel very correct for the color combination.
They do.
And because they're not world specific, it's not
Right.
a Darkar Waste or whatever.
Yeah.
You just plug them in anywhere.
Yeah, it's really nice. Bewildering Blizzard, the card that did so much work for Luis on camera yesterday. We're going to take another Jungle Hollow. Okay, so we are still getting cards. They're going to end up in our main deck here this late in Pack 3. You'd love to see it. Didn't take the Grimeg Night Watch. I just want to point that out.
It's interesting, a phenomenon that can happen in these formats sometimes where someone puts a premium on fixing in Pack 1. So in Packs 2 and 3, they can just take all of the power cards, which means that sometimes even good mana fixing ends up floating around the table late.
Sure. Aggressive Negotiations, the pickup here. 3 cards left in the pack. Ice Ridge Serpent, 3/3 bounce creature. Final 2 picks. Do we want a Crocodile or a big 7/7? Or a 4/4 and a 3/3? Dusiet Earthcarver. And there we go. That is the draft here. Draft number 2 on day 2 of competition at Magic Spotlight Dragons for Andrew Elenbogen. Your thoughts on this deck now, Patrick?